Hi everyone, welcome to Conversations of the Week presented by Ace Media. I'm Obose. I am the host of Gen Z Talks podcast, and today we're exploring topics that are very prominent and how these topics are portrayed through film and act. Joining me today is Christabel. She played a pivotal role in the making of Jilted and Bamboozled, a film that dives deep into these things that we're going to be talking about, and we get to learn more perspective on them. So, first of all, I have something that I've been going through my mind all week, and perfect timing because I get to talk to somebody about it. So, you're going to answer me this question. It's completely different from our conversation, but I just feel like it's a good icebreaker.
Absolutely go.
So, what do you think? A babe who doesn't mind having kids, who should she lean towards? A man who wants kids or a man who doesn't want kids?
Wait, sorry. Can you say question again? A babe who doesn't mind or
Yeah, she doesn't mind having kids.
hmm.
Who should she lean now? Is different. It's not that she wants kids.
Yeah, just
She
she doesn't.
doesn't mind having kids. Who
Okay.
should she lean towards? A man who wants kids or a man who doesn't want kids? Or a man like her who does not mind having kids as well?
Well, for everyone's sanity, definitely someone like you who doesn't mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay, moving on to our conversation. So today's topic is going to be betrayal, right? What is your definition of betrayal?
Me, betrayal is really just when someone goes against my personal expectation of them. That's the best I can define betrayal. But I feel like it's very subjective to everybody.
It is.
Every state.
It is because me myself, I'm like, have I ever been betrayed before? Because I was trying to think, I don't know, but maybe not. No, it's not something that like somebody has put in my face, but like, oh my God, like you betrayed me. Like just like these subtle things, right?
And that's a good thing. I don't feel like it says a lot about your character.
Mhm. Oh yeah, do you think so?
I feel so. I
Mhm.
feel
So
like
if you have been
I,
betrayed, it
I
says
didn't
that you have
see.
bad character. That's what the character is saying, guys.
No, 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 no. Let me go back. Let me go back on that. Just walk back on that statement. Seconds to rethink that.
Wait,
But
excuse me.
well, no, yeah, no, I just feel like if you're not someone who's been faced with like you said, like that betrayal in your face, because whether you like it or not, I feel like someone has betrayed you, but like I said, like it's very subjective. But I feel like if you're not someone that has experienced betrayal in that light, it just means you have good judgment of character. Like you're not surrounding yourself with
I hear that. Yeah.
like that, and it also means you're a peaceful person.
No wala.
No, like nobody's stressing you, not stressing anything. Nobody has the time.
So that's your definition of betrayal. So say if you're betrayed, how would you personally like deal with the situation? Like how would you deal with that?
So like I said before, I feel like it's very subjective, and that's even just tying back to what we did in Jilted and Bamboozled. We try to recognize how betrayal can come in so many aspects in life. Like it could be friendship betrayal, it could be like even in relationships, it could even be like a family, like your family members like betraying,
Mhm. Mhm.
and like we're very intentional. So I think for me to answer this question, I'll give a very general answer. Just and I think we also put a poll like this, like, oh, like what would you do? Just move on, keep your peace or go and fight. I'm like, I like my peace. Like
Mhm.
if you betray me, I'm just like, okay, yeah, just move on. But it also depends to the degree. But I just always feel like if you can betray me, it's just a sign from God that like
Yes.
let's keep pushing. And me, I like to listen to Jesus.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep it pushing,
Jesus babies over here.
Jesus babies. But what about you? Though? I wanted to know because I really like in your experience, like what would you do?
How would I personally deal with betrayal? To
Yeah.
be honest, basically what you said. Um, I would move on. Like I will move on quietly. And because me, I'm just a person, like if you do anyhow around me, like that's like my default. It's just like goes. I don't even have conversations because I feel like if you got to that point where you betray me, like I don't feel like there's any conversation we have to have or there's any mending, to be honest. Like you've already shown yourself, like
You're
what
both
else do you want to do? And it's about also giving the person that much power. Like you don't really have that much power. Like I don't really like you can't really disturb me to that point. Do you get you ain't shit. Don't let them see you sweat, to be honest. Like yeah. Okay, so moving on. So how do you think that the team betrayal was explored in the film?
Very good question. Especially when I was writing, I was very intentional to um like highlight it in so many aspects of life.
Mm-hmm.
But what we really wanted to do was show how like such instances can alter the way a person makes decisions, the way even like their life moving forward is. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really, like, especially even this conversation we're having, I'm hoping that when people watch the film, they can come back to this conversation and even see like what we're talking about, and also use that to reflect on their own personal life. There are two sides to every story. So we also try to highlight, because what I've come to find out is that such people, they are going through a lot, like internally, and like
Yeah.
even a lot from like background, like family
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we were very like intentional to try to highlight both sides of the story, but at the same time, doesn't give anybody excuse.
Yes.
But
Yes.
like,
But
it,
still show perspective.
yeah,
I'm gonna ask a follow-up question. Why did you think that this was a theme that you wanted to touch on? I think you talked a little bit on that, but like if you can like buttress on why you thought this betrayal was something that you wanted to touch on
yes,
in the movie.
absolutely. I think even just the entire story was really like, when I say personal, it's like personal, like my experiences, a lot of people around me. So I think it was also just like what the general consensus at the time of like my most immediate surrounding was. So I
Mm-hmm.
drew inspiration from that. But I
Mm-hmm.
think it was also very timely, just like because I'm a TikTok girly, and like I see
Yeah.
I just think it's also a timely um thing to discuss. I think people really need to think a lot more about this theme of betrayal.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people sometimes underestimate how far it can go.
Yes.
That's just
You can also see that even on the Get Ready With Me's when like they talk about, I mean, I just finished watching one of Madame Joyce when she was talking about how like her bestie betrayed her. Like, to be honest, it is something because before, like I always used to joke with my friends that like I beg oh before they go and use me as Get Ready With Me oh, like so, so I don't want to be anybody's story, whatever, you know. So it's very true. Like people come online, they just dish out all this drama of how people someone betrayed them or someone treated them badly. So it's really, really on theme, and I love that.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Okay. Do you believe that betrayal always needs to be confronted, or can it be something that you move past quietly?
You see, this is a very good question that I'm currently like out, and I hate how I'm answering this question. Honestly, I want to answer these questions like a writer, but I'm like, fuck that shit. But like, the two, in my opinion, are beneficial, but it depends who you are.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
if you're someone that had a lot to lose, man, silence is the best.
Mhm.
But you don't have
Girl.
issues,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have family members to think about,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have maybe digital footprint to worry about, risky fire for fire. Okay.
You're gonna get what
Yeah.
you
Because
get me.
like sometimes people also like, or sometimes take you for like granted when you move in silence, not realizing how much it takes to move
Yes.
on in silence. They
Mhm.
see you like, oh yeah, fool. You're like, bruh.
Girl. Like if you know, only if you know. Is I feel like that too, that it's a personality base is where you draw your strength from. If you're a very confrontational person, please do and express yourself in that way. But if you're someone who has so much to lose, please move in silence, draw strength from that and do what you have to do. But I feel like my opinion is quite different because I feel like betrayal is such a prominent thing, especially if it's something that's really like it's really hurtful, right? And it's so prominent that confrontational, I don't think is necessary because both parties already know what's happening. So you don't really need to confront me to tell me because you already know the nonsense that you did,
Well, have
right?
you ever been in a situation where you're with someone who doesn't realize that they're doing rubbish? Have
Do
you
you
ever?
think do you think that there are people who do not know? I am a firm believer that people know what they do.
Well, yes, like logically, two reasoning human beings, yes. But come on, look at the society we live in. And that's why I say like this film again is also like it's not personal to me, but like I have been in instances where I've seen people like with so much disregard, like they act so oblivious to what like is so blatant, and they're just like,
Wow. That's a spiritual issue. But let's move on. Become in peace.
drop drops mic.
So my last question. What role do you think forgiveness plays in moving past betrayal, especially with close relationships, close friendships? Like, because betrayal can happen anyway. It can happen in a relationship, it can happen in a friendship, it can happen anyway. It can happen with even a coworker.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think forgiveness plays a role?
Um, I think forgiveness is for yourself, in my opinion. Forgiveness does more for you than the other person. And also these things also come with maturity. That's another thing I would say. I think when I was much younger, my train of thought was totally different. But
Yeah.
when you mature, you start to realize like that like forgiving somebody, you're not doing the other person a favor, you're doing yourself, because first of all, you kind of give yourself the freedom from you free that experience, like just like mentally. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to what you said too, I also feel like forgiveness is also vital. It's not just for the person who was betrayed, but also for the betrayer. If, like we said, if the betrayer person who betrayed somebody has sense and their frontal lobe, if they're mature and their frontal lobe is their frontal lobe if working, I also feel like forgiveness to themselves as well, that they
Yeah.
forgive themselves and give themselves grace so that if put in that same situation next time, it's not something that they will like betraying someone is not something that they would that would be go to because they've already worked and healed from that and they become better, right? So not only for the person, of course, for the person who got betrayed, because like you have to forgive in order to like move on and thrive, right? But I feel like for also the person who is the person who's the betrayer. I also need that person because there's sometimes that betrayal from the other like the person who is the betrayer does it not from a place of hurt or not from a place of oh I want to hurt you. It maybe life happened and they were put in situations or whatever, right? And they know that they were wrong and they so that person has to give themselves grace. That person has to give themselves grace so that they can be able to forgive.
I never thought about it from the other person's angle, but I think that's a very, very good point. Because I think another thing, people should be given the chance to redeem themselves. Like I think I very much agree with that.
So last thing I'm going to say that we have posts every week. So head on to Ace Media's Instagram page to follow them page and get into the conversations that we have throughout the that's going to be coming throughout the following weeks. So yeah.
We're very excited, and I'm so excited for you guys to see what Obose has coming up in the next couple of 3 weeks, or next 3 weeks rather. But thank you so much, Obose, and it was so nice like hanging out with you this night. That look, before doing this, I was like, oh, I'm a bit nervous. Like, no, I'm so serious, but
I'm anxiety.
I was very comfortable.